thank you all for joining us. It's great to see so much interest in the Rising Star Awards, and every time we run a webinar, we seem to beat our own attendee record, which is great. For those of you joining who don't know me, I'm Sam Nelson. I am a senior relationship manager at the printing charity, and I am lucky enough to lead our careers and development programs here. So quick reminder that the session is recorded and will be shared on our website, on socials, and if you've registered, you'll get a copy as well sent to you. We have enabled the Q&A. So if you have any questions, please pop them in the Q&A and we can try and get to them at the end of the chat. And if we don't get to them, we will answer them via email. If you do leave today and then think of some things that you wanted to ask, I would say you should email award@theprintingcharity.org.uk and we'll be happy to answer any of them. So hopefully you already know the basics of how the awards work, but if you're not sure, there's lots more detail on our website, so I would start there. A quick reminder that applications will open on the 2nd of March this year and will close on the 29th of March. So there's plenty of time to prepare and look at all the information. So when we prepare our plans, we look at some of the most common questions, and two of those are, how do I know what skills I need, and how do I choose the right course? So in today's webinar, we'll look at how one of our previous award winners made their choice, and also how HR leaders think about learning and development. So we're not here to tell you which options to pick. Our aim is to help you take ownership of your learning and growth, recognize the skills that you need to develop, and appreciate the role of continuous learning when you're looking at future opportunities. So this award is designed to support your personal development and help you choose learning that strengthens your career and your professional confidence. We'll also provide a support document for those who have registered, so that will give you some more hints and tips about searching for courses. So now the people that you would like to hear from today, it's my pleasure to welcome Storm Newton-Bird and Hannah Elkin. Storm is a 2025 Rising Star Award winner, and Storm started as a hand finishing operator at BCQ Solutions. She then became an account executive, and since winning the award, she's been promoted to account manager. So she's used her award to get some training to support that and create a solid foundation for her future roles. Hannah is the head of human resources at City Post Mail, where she's been a key part of the business for around 16 years. She leads initiatives in leadership, development, and investors in people. And she drives a culture of continuous improvement, and Hannah is very passionate about supporting every employee's growth. So thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right. So first of all, I will come to Hannah. As head of HR, which obviously encompasses learning, give us your opinion on why continuous development is important.
Okay, so it's very important to me. Obviously, as the business grows, we want our people to grow with us and gain new skills, both personally and professionally. In turn, with continuous development, that will naturally enhance employee engagement, which will in turn keep staff retention rates increased as well. If our people feel invested in, they are more likely to stay with us, have job satisfaction, and allow for career growth. It'll ensure that skills remain consistent as well with the ever-changing market.
Absolutely true. And when you look at that and supporting your people, what sort of skills have you seen that have really boosted the careers within City Post?
So there's a few different angles on this. In terms of soft skills, it would more so be based around communication, adapting styles to different people, being an active listener. We've also then got expanding knowledge. So coaching and feedback is a main one for me. Teamwork, collaborating, so working with other people as well is really important. Maybe people that you don't normally get to do projects with or certain other work with. It means that you can develop your own skills from other people.
Absolutely.
And then,
Sorry. No, please, Hannah.
Understanding roles is also another one for me. So if you go and spend time job shadowing, time with other people's departments, it'll help for you to understand how your role fits into the bigger picture. So kind of how the jigsaw puzzle fits all together.
That's really important. And I was just thinking, as you said that, the when you sort of help people think about that, do you point them in the direction of some learning materials as well?
Yes. So in terms of we have a job chat process. So it's run 3 times a year, and it's the opportunity for individuals to be able to speak to their line manager on empowerment, motivation, but at the same time we also cover off learning development and training requirements. So from that then the line manager will come to myself, we'll have a look at the areas and the departments that would most benefit them, and we'll create a plan for them to go and spend time with different people or look at different internal external resources that we've got to be able to support them.
Fabulous. And I think that really plays into the Rising Star Awards, because it is about the individual, but we do want people to engage with their employer and get that guidance. So that's brilliant, Hannah. Thank you.
Definitely.
And Storm, so you've made a transition in your career from one department to another. How did you go about finding what sort of skills were needed to make that transition?
Okay, so I was fortunate enough to have the company I work for approach me with a plan for my progression and the opportunity to move into another department as an account executive. They highlighted that I was very bubbly with a can-do attitude, which attributes to customer facing, luckily. I found these skills I needed for the job transition by spending a lot of time overseeing other departments, training with colleagues, asking lots of questions, as well as regular one-to-ones with management and, of course, discussions with HR.
Brilliant. And just expanding on that bit of looking at other departments, and were the other departments very welcoming and, I don't know, maybe flattered by...
I think for their own benefit as well, as much as I know, it benefits them in the long run. Them putting their knowledge into me, I appreciated, but I think also they appreciate it themselves. And for myself, having that clear understanding really benefited me, made me feel more confident, and opened up those skills I do need for my new position.
Brilliant. I think people often forget that sort of upskilling and cross-skilling, it makes everyone feel valued in the business, because people want to know about what they do.
Sure, yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Storm. So on sort of the other side of that conversation, Hannah, if a member of your team expresses an interest in different roles in the same department or a different department, how do you guys go about supporting them?
So I think naturally the first steps is we'd have a look at their current role and responsibilities of the role that they're already in, have a look at what their aspirations are and what those roles and responsibilities would look like, so that we can understand the skills gaps. It's then understanding how we'll bridge them and looking at training and support around that. And aside from what we as an employer can offer, that's where the Rising Stars Awards comes into play. So we can use yourselves in terms of bridging those gaps and supporting them through that channel, alongside obviously the training that I've just mentioned that we will offer internally and externally as well. I think then it's really important to set up regular meetings, make sure we review progress, and as well let them work on other projects or with other people that would also develop those skills that they're wanting to aspire to.
Brilliant. It sounds like across the board there, communication is key, which obviously once again that's a skill in itself, isn't it? And thinking about what you said on using the Rising Star Awards, I think that's a really good way to put it. We obviously sit alongside what the employer is already doing to make an employee great at their role, and we can help with that expansion plan and that staff retention. So that's great. Storm, when you were considering your application and what you wanted to get out of the Rising Star Awards, did you consider more than one course? And then how did you decide on that course? sort of within that, who did you engage with to get there?
Okay, I think it's important to choose a variety of courses. I decided to do this myself. I was lucky enough to be awarded the Rising Star last year. I decided to go for an account management course, as this was the next step I wanted to take. I needed it for the next step as an account executive. It certainly helped me towards my recent job change as an account manager. Um, the other two courses I went for were Essential Sales and Advanced Sales. I chose these to not only strengthen my position, but to understand the sales team's responsibilities more. It's also perfect for my future progression. I do want to work my way into sales at some point, so having these courses already behind me gives me a better chance at success.
Absolutely. And I think that that's a really key point again, Storm, that we understand as a charity, and the people that work in businesses understand that if we had a perfect world, we would provide all the training our staff want when they want it. But obviously, Storm is pointing out there that she's not in sales and wants to show that she's ready to go into sales. And those courses really showed that she thought about that progression, and that all came across in the interview and the application process. So yeah, that's wonderful. And then Storm, when you were looking for those courses, how did you go about searching for the courses that you chose?
So I searched for my courses online. I focused on finding in person, as this is my preferred learning method. I know everyone varies, but to me, sitting in person, being in that environment is more beneficial for myself, and I'm sure others will agree. I looked at various platforms, I compared them against others, reading reviews and previous participants, seeing their reviews on the courses they've taken. I mainly focused on the modules listed. I ensured what I wanted was listed to enhance current skills, and knowing exactly what benefits I'd be taken away from these courses. Comparing courses online as well, it's really good to take your time into your research, compare the modules to one another, because you might find one course is offering a lot more than the other, maybe for the same price, but I would be looking for the bigger, better courses if I was you.
That's fantastic, and all great points. I mean, what again came across in Storm's application and interview was that she'd taken the time to think about her learning style, the face-to-face learning style. Not the same for everyone, but that's something that applicants should consider. And also understanding those modules within it. The judges in general are looking for an understanding of what the modules and what the outcomes of the courses are, and how that will take that person to the next level. The real consideration of those courses. And also, Storm, this may sound obvious, but I'm going to ask it anyway because let's put it all out there. How did you just go straight to the internet and do a search on sales? Was that how you went about it?
Yeah, literally straightforward. I've done my research. I didn't click the first one that come up. I'd done my research between each platform. But yeah, I went online and it was pretty straightforward. You just decide what you want to do, have a good read through, and then go from there.
Brilliant. I think that's the question that we get asked earlier. How do I choose the right course? Actually, the nuance and the information is in deciding what the skills are. Then the internet takes you there. So if you start from a blank sheet of paper, absolutely. If you start from a blank sheet of paper, you're going to struggle. But if you know the skills, you can put that in, and you know how to get there. Thanks, Storm. That's wonderful. So back to Hannah. Your last question from me for the day. Thinking about the internal opportunities, what message does it send to you if a team member is curious about other roles and taking steps to boost their own development?
It's a very positive message. I think it shows that an individual's got that growth mindset. They're looking at opportunities around them instead of waiting for opportunities to arise. So they're being proactive, looking at skills, looking at their aspirations, and it shows that they want to contribute more to the business than what they currently do. So it's a very, very positive message for both the individual and the business.
Brilliant. So there we go. That's a head of HR, everybody, saying that what they want from their people is for them to take control of their learning and development and bring it to them, and then they can help them on that journey.
Definitely.
So, Storm, so not only about course choice, but do you have any top tips for anyone who's thinking of applying for this year's awards? Anything at all?
Yes, my advice would be research the courses you're interested in. Make sure you're researching on those reviews as well. Make sure you're getting a lot of positive reviews and you're reading that someone has actually taken something away from the course. Try using as much of the funding as you can. It is there to support you. Remember, the charity is here to invest in people they know will benefit the industry for the future. I would recommend in-person training. Again, like I said, that's my preference, but I do feel it's more beneficial. It's a great way to network with others as well in the moment. And most importantly, be yourself. You've got to be yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a lovely point to end on. We know that everyone's individual. The awards are about giving the best version of yourself. So I think that's a great point. And also that point about using the money, what we want to see is exactly that people understand the value of what they're asking for and that the skills that will deliver. So that's absolutely superb. If Hannah and Storm, have you got anything else that you want to add at this point?
No, but if anyone's got any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Yeah. I think we've covered everything that we wanted to cover for you guys. Are there any questions in the chat at all, Liz?
Yeah, we've got a question from Russell Turner. Thanks, Russell, for this. It's for Storm. Russell asks, may I ask who the provider of the courses you chose for your development was?
I believe it was MD Training. I will have to check back and confirm on email if that's okay, but I'm pretty sure that's who I decided to do my courses through.
Thank you, Storm.
And thinking about that as well, Russell, the points about in person and the networking, everything like that. When you find these courses, that's really a good time to go and speak to. Well, it's all a good time, but another good time to speak to HR and line management about the time that you might need during work to invest in those courses. So to make sure that they can provide that time for you, because that goes into the preference as well. Learning style is key, but also availability and when you can do it, because obviously online things you can do in your own time and as you go, whereas obviously in person you've got to be there on a day. So make sure you really consider those. I can see a few more things popping up, Liz.
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions from Amber. Thank you, Amber, for these. Amber's first question is, can you choose more than one course if it's under the allocated amount? Which is a great question. Thank you.
It is. Yes, absolutely. You can choose one big chunky course, or you can choose a number of smaller courses. I think the key again is being very clear on why you've chosen them and what they'll deliver for you. So if it's a number of more bite-sized things, that might be the right thing for you, as long as you tell us why. Or if it's a professional qualification in something, a diploma in something for the full amount, again, that might be right, as long as you tell us why.
And Amber's second question is, does the money need to be used towards a course or can it be towards equipment?
Good question. So once again, it's about the understanding. We have a cap on equipment of £500 of the award, but it's about why you need that. So it can be used as the answer, the justification and the information has to be as detailed as if you're asking for a course. Hopefully that answers that.
I've got a quick question from Liz, which is, did you mention you have some options on potential course choices, a menu maybe?
Yes. So as a charity, we are provider agnostic. So we don't have a list of providers. What we have done is put together the key course titles over the last couple of years from what our winners have undertaken. So it gives you, once you've got, like I said, those skills. So Storm was looking for sales and account management. Once you've got that in your mind, this gives you some titles of the kind of courses that people are running to start in your search engine search and be a bit more direct than just sales courses per se. So hopefully that's helpful. But we don't have a list of providers. That's down to that person to find and research and make that choice.
Question from Amber. If you're picked, is the interview just a chat over a call, or do you need to have something to present?
Good question. Hannah will be one of our expert judges this year, so she's probably interested in some of this as well. So it is a online Teams interview, around about 50 minutes. You don't need to present anything. The questions for said interview, if you're successful in securing one, are available in advance, so you can think about those. So it's about meeting the judges and showing them your journey, showing them what you've picked, and showing your best side.
A question from Mark. What's the funding limit for winners?
The funding limit is up to £1,500. That's to include any VAT. So do check that if you're looking at courses. But you don't need to spend the whole amount. It's about getting the right course. And also, if your course is slightly more and there's other ways that you can support it, whether that's with your own money or whether your employer might add a little bit because they can see the value in it, that's also okay.
Question from Oliver. Is there an age range for applications? I wasn't sure if these courses were aimed towards people at the start of their career.
Sorry, I coughed then. Did you say, is there an age limit?
Age range. What's the age range for applications?
The age range is you have to be at least 18 and up to 35 on the opening day of that year's application period. So it's 18 to 35. And it's got to be at the start of the application period, which is 2nd of March this year. Sorry, Liz.
Right. Question from Ellis. Is there a cap on how many can win per site or company?
Simple answer is no. Many can apply, and if you deserve, many can apply from the site. We love to see it. If the application is what it needs to be, and etc., then you can have as many winners as deserve it that year. Also, it's important to note that there's the age range, which is the eligibility. The whole process is designed to be supportive and developmental. So if you don't win, you can apply again the next year as long as you're in the age range. We have lots of people winning 2nd and 3rd year round, and that hopefully you get something out of the whole process, looking at your learning, taking control of your learning, looking at courses, seeing where you might want to go in your next role in the business. So hopefully it's worthwhile, even if you don't win it in the year or the first year you apply.
Question from Liz. How many winners are there in total?
Last year there were 78 is the best answer I can give to that, because we don't know how many will apply and what the standard of those applications will be, but 78 last year, Liz.
I've got a question from Melissa. Can it affect your application if you work part-time?
No, that's fine as long as you're employed within one of our supported industries, so print, paper, packaging, graphics, and the allied trades, publishing. I don't know if I've said them all. They're on our website anyway. As long as you're employed by someone in those industries, then that's fine.
Question from Natasha. When searching for courses and one's funding has been approved, what dates would the funding be released so we can check whether there are in-person courses available during those months?
Okay, excellent question. So to break that down a little bit, so the courses when you come to the application and the interview, but the application stage, we expect the courses that you want to do to be already chosen and already down on paper. So you are looking for those in-person courses still. Then funding will be released in July of the year that you win. So you'll be able to book any courses for the rest of the year. The funding needs to be spent before the end of the year in which you win, and the course is undertaken as soon as possible. Within the year is great, but as soon as possible after that. So, it's you sort of have to look ahead to where they're running the courses and when you need to have those payments available for, if that makes sense.
And I think we just have time for one more question, which has just come in from Tamsin. Is there a restriction on the duration of the course, for example, 6 weeks or 12 months?
No, there is no restriction on the duration of the course you choose. Obviously, it needs to be booked before the end of the year, and then if that learning runs for 12 months, 24 months, that's fine as long as it's booked in. And if it's a short course, then ideally you do it before the end of the year. Also, I noticed I mentioned that the interview questions were available in advance. That is not actually true. It's the application questions. So thought I'd mention that before everyone gets excited. Yes. So as Liz said, that was the last bit of time we had. So thank you so much for all those questions. A reminder that if you've got any more, email them into awards@theprintingcharity.org.uk. We can curate those and bring in Hannah and Storm if we need to on those. Thank you so much again to Storm and Hannah for that fantastic insight. And thank you all for joining us. And we look forward to seeing applications and seeing what courses people have chosen.